Welcome to the Radiant Life with Tatiana. I am your host, and I'm obsessed with empowering you to live and create the best life possible. I'm a master mindset coach, breathwork facilitator, and a passionate little Latina who loves sharing the magic behind your subconscious mind and energetics. If you're looking to uplevel your mindset, learn all about spirituality and manifestation, and to be inspired in making a change to embody your best self, you are in the right place. My goal is for you to see and unlock your limitless potential, to have the tools to break free from the chains holding you back so you can create and live your most radiant life. I am so excited to have you here listening today. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome back to the Radiant Life podcast. Today we're talking all things signs, symbols, and synchronicities because they are everywhere and they are here to support us and guide us to be the best versions of ourselves and be on our right path. And that is my purpose with this podcast, is to help inspire and empower you in becoming the best version you can be so that you can create your most radiant life. And when I really learned to work with and understand these principles and tools of signs, symbols, and synchronicities, distinguishing the difference, it allowed me to use them in ways that can really support me. I was able to better understand them, what they were meaning for me, and just making decisions for my highest good in the most empowered, aligned way. And I really want to share this with you because it's really important. They're everywhere. And if we're not being open to them, then we're missing the opportunities that they're here to guide us and support us on in this realm. And they're really just helping us is really what it comes by. You know, for me, I truly believe that they're coming from God and just helping me be on my next path. Maybe it's you're just really into the scientific part of it, or the universe is using the quantum field to help you. Either way, they're working for all of us. And I'm ready to help break this down for you so you can really understand. So I'm going to share with you what each of them are, the differences, and then at the end, explain how to uncover what it means, as well as how to ask for signs when you're in a place of needing more support or guidance when it comes to making a decision. I literally lean on these all the time. They support me. They've helped me learn and confirm decisions that I wouldn't be where I'm at today without following that gut, that intuition, that belief that this symbol, this sign is happening for me. And I'm going to share some stories. And actually, it's funny because I learned when I was in San Diego a few weeks ago, we really understood the breakdown of this. And it was beautiful because the day before that, I had asked for a specific sign and it appeared like an hour or two after. It was so divine. And then we learned all about this the next day. So it was just a beautiful synchronicity there. And if you know me, I don't believe in coincidences. Coincidences do not exist. It's literally God and the universe is always working for us. We just need to be open to it. So I hope today's episode really gives you that clarity on how to be more open and distinguish what they are and how to follow them. So let's break it down. What is a sign? So signs are obvious. They are clear and you just know, right? Maybe you've been wanting to go to a photography class, but it's been booked all year. And then all of a sudden someone drops out, you get an email that one spot is open for it and you just happen to open that email. That's a sign you're meant to go take that class, right? For me, here are a few examples. When I was applying for colleges, my number one school was UMass Amherst. Didn't get in. I was on the wait list. I had accepted it. I decided to go to UMass Dartmouth. I full on planned and believed I was going there. Took the test, had a roommate, everything. And then I'm driving to my nannying job one day and I get a call from a woman saying, "You have been lifted off the wait list and you are now accepted to the University of Massachusetts Amherst." And my jaw dropped. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I started questioning, should I really go there? I already have a roommate. I already took my placement tests. And my best friend was like, "Tati, this is your number one school. This is a sign that it is for you, because if it wasn't meant for you, the opportunity would not have presented itself." And so I was like, you know what? You're right. Decided. And then the rest is history. Met Evan there. It was so beautifully divine. But that was a sign. I was meant to go there. Maybe
you have a specific song that rarely ever comes up, but it comes up and it just grabs your attention. You're like, I never hear this song. And you're in a time in your life where you're trying to make a decision. Maybe it's with a relationship or a house or your career. That is a sign. My mom always hears the song Calling All Angels when she's in that time of her life. And every time she hears it, it's just that confirmation that she is supported. Her angels is there. God's got her back. And that whatever she's leaning on is the right choice for her. For me, I had another sign with moving to Florida. If you don't know my story, it happened so divinely. My friend just happened to randomly send me these 2 apartments. So random. It's funny because he didn't even believe I would move to Florida. And I was like, okay, go to this one. He recorded it, and I remember him calling me and said, Tati, I think this is a sign. This apartment is amazing. The location is, you can't beat it. And the price, I don't even know how you're getting this good of a deal. And I just trusted my gut. I trusted that was a sign for us. If you know the story, I literally say God just presented every opportunity so effortlessly for us to move to Florida. We trusted it. We signed the lease the next day. And we never saw the apartment, never been to the town. Gabby still lives in that same apartment because it is that amazing. That was a sign. It just happened to be open, happened to have this great deal. It can work for us this easily. So maybe for you, it's you see a phrase that your grandma used to say all the time, or a rainbow, or an animal. And it's just that confirmation that whatever's going on, it's the right path. So these are like these obvious signs that you see, a red cardinal every time something you're trying to make a decision, or a butterfly, or there's those deeper meanings. Those are signs. They're obvious. Then there are symbols, and symbols need interpretation because they're typically metaphorical. Our subconscious mind learns and communicates in metaphors, and we actually experience these more than signs, but because they're not so blatant and obvious, we can miss them. So for example, when I was at the training in San Diego, my sister, Allie, and I were seeing pomegranates everywhere. Like we all were. It's very, very synchronistically. And so we had to do some deep diving. So when you see a symbol, so maybe it for you is a pomegranate or a yellow butterfly or a blue jay, a white owl, or something random, we have to go into deeper meanings. They also can appear, so animals, angel numbers. You're like, okay, I'm seeing this everywhere, but what does this mean, right? Just like dreams, which I learned how to interpret dreams in this training, and it is so cool. It's been blowing my mind and my client's mind. These are all symbols. We have to do some deep digging. So for dreams, for example, in the training the night before we learned, I had a sex dream, and I was like, do I really need to interpret this? It's just a sex dream. So I did, and it's so funny because the underlining message behind it had nothing to do about my relationship or sex. It was about my business and my career and some decisions I was making, and that it could be juicy and fruitful and like all these things. I forget the full message right now, but it came from a sex dream, and we go through this process, what I learned to do to interpret dreams, and that was the message and meaning, and it was so on point of the message I needed. The confirmation completely blew my mind. From a sex dream, you guys. What? I was like, okay, this is crazy. And so we can look these up, right? We can look up, what is the meaning of an owl or a pomegranate? What does it represent? What are the angel numbers 111? And it can be a really good guide and direction. And I also want to encourage you to ask, what does this mean to me? What does this signify? In what context? So for the pomegranate story, we were all seeing it. And the last day I asked Gabby, my sister, what do you think it means for you? Because I looked it up, it meant fertility and something else. And I'm like, okay, this doesn't really land. So what does it mean for me? So for me, I was saying it felt like juicy and fruitful and like, And what came to my mind, it's like those automatic, like, you don't know where it comes from. I was like, okay, this feels like in the context of my business and career. And I was like, I've been doing a lot lately, a lot of shifts. And I really just feel like 2023, that this is a symbol that life is about to get so much more juicier and fun and exciting and whatnot. And it was funny because when I asked my sister, she's like, I forget the word she said. It was like delightful and another word, completely different representation of what the pomegranate signifies to me. And so this is what I mean. Like, it's great. And also look within. You always have the answers within you. With symbols, you need to take them with a grain of salt, meaning don't make assumptions. In the beginning of 2021, I was in Trader Joe's and a dragonfly flew into the store and landed on me. And the cashier looked at me. She's like, oh my goodness, that is a sign. That's a symbol of good luck. You're going to have so much growth and expansion and success. And I don't know what else. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. My business is going to blow up. I'm going to make so much money, so much impact. That's the assumption I made in my mind of growth and expansion from the luck. I did grow in 2021. In my business, I did. But mainly also in myself and my relationships. It was actually a very painful year. It was the year Evan and I broke up. I did a lot of healing and growth and inner work. And so I just share this, taking it with a grain of salt, because it's not always how you expect it to be. And so we need to release attachments. Like, great, you looked up or made a meaning of it, right? But can you also release the attachment of that it's going to go exactly the way you want it to go? Or what others say it means, because everyone has a different representation, right? Look at the two different representations of what a pomegranate meant for my sister or I. So just when you have these symbols come into your mind, acknowledge it, look within, trust, and let life unfold. Let it happen for you exactly how it's meant to happen. It's always happening for us for our greater good. So symbols are just ones we need to interpret. They're metaphors. They're so cool, but we don't want to jump to conclusions sometimes or attachments or assumptions. And then there are synchronicities. Synchronicities show you the path, and they can sometimes be uncomfortable because they may stretch you to go out of your comfort zone to do something, or because you're embodying a new you. And they can also kick you in the ass if you don't listen or ignore them. If you're not listening on the synchronicities that are blatantly happening in your sphere, the opportunities, the universe will continue to present them. Not always, but they will kick you in the ass one way or the other, whether you like it or not. So think of synchronicities like the lights down the movie aisle directing you where to walk, or the lights that guide the plan on where to land. It's like, it knows exactly where to land because the lights are just lighting up the path, the best path for you. These are what synchronicities do. They are both signs and symbols pointing you in the right direction for yourself. A synchronicity could be as simple as you randomly thinking of this person or having a dream of a friend, and then immediately the next day they call you. That's a synchronicity there. Figure out, okay, why are you guys meant to be in communication right now? Maybe you had this really good idea for your project for work, but then you're like, I don't know. That's a little much. I don't know if people are going to go for it. And then your coworker says something super similar. That's a synchronicity. That's a sign to execute. Trust yourself, trust your gut, trust the synchronicities there to confirm what you're feeling and thinking. I had a synchronicity last year where was just right when I got certified in breathwork, so in the spring, and I was like, okay, I really want to bring breathwork to people in person. And I love online, but I want to bring it in person in my community. I want to meet more like-minded people. And I randomly decided to go work in this like common area, my apartment complex. And I was getting this nudge to go talk to these two women that were there. So I was like, okay, it's in the middle of the workday. They clearly work for themselves. And it was so awkward, right? This is what I say. They can be uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm going to just randomly walk up to these women and introduce myself. And what am I going to say? I don't know, but I trusted it. Conversation led one way to another. Now I'm friends with this woman because she has a business, this picnic business, those pop up, like she does like decorations for events. And it was so divinely beautiful because she was just happening to work with a woman who was creating this event. It's called Therapists Unite. You may see me on my stories now. And they were looking for more just holistic modalities, tools, practitioners to come to these events to support therapists. It was a place to really help them because they're always doing so much for others, for the community, right? They need to take care of themselves. And she's like, oh my goodness, I'm working with this woman who I think would love this mindset breath work, would love for you to host it at these events. So I get on the call with the woman. That woman I actually met 2 years prior at an NLP study group. And now I host breathwork, and now it's growing each and every month. It's great networking for me to give people other avenues or just providing my services to therapists at these events, and they feel so held and supported. And it was exactly what I was wanting, but I just didn't know how it was going to happen. But I followed that nudge, and I believed that synchronicity, that conversation, and I followed it. I could have easily shrugged it off. I could have easily not contacted the woman who was creating this event, right? That was just the event designer, planner that I met. Didn't have to message the woman who was linking us, right? I followed it. That was a synchronicity. So they're always happening. Do you have one, right? Another story. I had a client once message me a few months ago with this massive idea, download vision of a new business idea. And I don't want to give too much away because we're in the works of it, but she followed it. She told me, and I told her, I was like, this is so interesting because about 1 or 2 months prior, I actually met someone who's very successful in that industry. That is a synchronicity right there. I just happened to meet someone. So I connected them. I mean, this guy's like Oprah, like on Oprah's like Christmas wish list, like successful in the industry. Connected them. He gave her all of the information of, what she needs for suppliers, how to start up, all these things. That is a synchronicity. And I told her, I said, hey, this is an opportunity arising itself. I just happened to meet this person. Now it's your choice if you're going to follow through or not. They're happening everywhere. Maybe you meet someone in line at the coffee shop, maybe that you're looking for, or when you're getting your hair done, you'll hear a conversation that they're a VA or that they're a dance teacher and you've been wanting to go to dance classes, or they're a realtor and you've been trying to buy a house, or a mentor just pops up. These are all synchronicities that are guiding you to your right path. You have the gist? So take a moment here and just look back. When have you experienced a sign, a symbol, a synchronicity? Did you listen, or did you shrug it off and just thought, oh, that's just a coincidence? No, that doesn't mean anything. The thing is if we ask or experience them and we don't take action, we're weakening a muscle, right? That intuition muscle, that muscle in relationship to God, to the universe, because we're not following through with what we're asking or experiencing because we're doubting it. And sometimes the opportunities will disappear and you lost your chance. Or sometimes they will scream and they will kick you in the ass and you'll learn the lesson. Maybe it is to put a boundary up with that coworker and you're not listening to all of the toxic signs of that or the relationship. And then eventually one day something bad happens. They cheat on you. And then you're like, wow, the relationship should have ended. I was not listening to the signs prior, right? This happens. It can happen in any area of life. And in order to build our intuition and our trust and our relationship with God and the spiritual realm, that's really what it is, right? The quantum field, we have to pick up on it. We have to be observant. We have to be aware. And we have to take action when they come into our life. We have to follow through when it appears. Because if you ask for a sign on what to do and the opportunity comes up, right? You meet a person that could support you and you don't take action on it, don't think it's just a coincidence or that it's too good to be true, because it gets to be too good. It gets to be that amazing. But when you don't take action and when you doubt it, you're literally teaching your subconscious mind and the universe that you weren't serious. So it's going to stop presenting those opportunities for you. Or it doesn't, and it's going to kick you in the ass and you're going to learn the hard way. And then you're going to miss the opportunities, right? Maybe you're like, I want support on starting a business or finding my purpose or healing this trauma, and then you meet a coach or a counselor or a therapist, or you're hearing this podcast, you're here for a reason. Are you going to take action on it or not? I always tell clients when we get on phone calls or potential clients or in the DMs, we're not having this conversation for a coincidence. We're in connection for a reason. How can I support you? Whether it leads to coaching or me referring you out to someone else. But are you going to take action? Are you going to trust that it was divinely curated for a reason, for your highest good? So moving forward, pay attention. Write in your journal, in your notes. Do you see an owl? Do you see a cardinal? Does that always show up for you? What does that mean to you? How can you look it up? Can you create meaning of I think this is a symbol that this always confirms that the decision I want to make happens. So now I want to move in to asking how to dig deeper into these signs and how to ask for a sign or symbol. Because there are a few ways, but these are my go-to ways. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to give you like 2 of them and whatnot. So the first one is if you see a symbol, right, that's constantly appearing, the pomegranate, I saw it like 5 or 6 times. Okay, I notice it. I acknowledge this is coming into my world for a reason. Like this is a symbol. And then I ask myself, what can this mean? What was I just thinking about when I saw this? Was I just thinking about an idea, somebody I had to I wanted to reach out to? Is it confirming something, right? Or is there just a decision, a crossroads that I'm at in my life that this is just signifying something for me, right? When I see these symbols or synchronicities or these signs, I just ask myself, what am I thinking in this moment? What's going on in my life? What does this represent to me? And sometimes I do Google, I'm like, what does this represent? So that's what you can do when it kind of just comes into your sphere without you asking for it, how to handle it. But now how to ask for a sign. This is how I do it. And this is what I recommend. Being specific. You don't have to, but you do. Because sometimes if you're like, just show me a sign. Should I do this? Should I start this business? Should I go to this networking event? Should I join Tinder? Should I break up with my right? If we're just asking for a random sign, sometimes the signs are presented, but then we're not picking up on it because it may be too broad. So I like to get really freaking specific because when we ask questions to God in the universe, it has to respond. It's a universal law. That's why I always ask, how can it get better than this? So for me, I will just say, okay, show me a sign. And honestly, I go with whatever pops in my head first. It's usually weird, random, less common things because I know if I see it, then that's truly working. Like test this out. Show me a yellow bouncy ball. Show me a purple frog. Whatever comes first to your mind is great. And I personally like to say 1 for yes, 1 for no. So the other day I was making a decision with joining, I've done this a few times, but joining a mastermind. And so I was like, okay, if this is the right path for me, show me this symbol, yes, show me this for no. And I sometimes like to say a timeline, show me this week, show me by the end of the today. But the important thing is releasing attachment. So just ask for signs, get specific. But a few things to keep in mind when you're asking for a sign is 1, always ask if this is for my highest good and right path. Because sometimes you might see this right sign, but is it actually for your highest good, right? Trust if it's meant to be, it will, and if it isn't, it isn't. Like, don't go seeking out the sign. Like, okay, let me find a purple frog. Let me find it so I can get what I want, right? That's having control. We have to release attachment and trusting that no sign is a sign. How many times you're like, oh, show me a sign if I'm supposed to, have hope of this person that we went on a few dates with, and no sign comes up. And then you're like, oh, but maybe they forgot. No. God doesn't forget about you. That's a sign. No sign is a sign. So that's why I personally like to say, show me a sign for yes, show me a sign for no. Because sometimes when I don't see a sign, I get in my head because I get all like panties in a bunch that I didn't get a sign, even though I know that it's a sign that it's not for me. So I like obvious, blunt ones. So that's why I say, get specific. We need to release attachment. Be open. If you're seeking it, it's not right? Like, don't ask for a sign or something Like, if you're like, show me a purple flower, and you have like this purple flower picture or a purple flower in general in your house, okay, don't do that because you have it. That's why I always go with something random, a yellow bouncy ball, right? So a few months ago, I was joining a program and I was like, okay, show me a yellow bouncy ball for yes and a purple frog for no. And you may think, Tati, those are 2 random ass things. Are you actually going to see it? And I think I gave it like a few day timeline. I kid you not. I'm telling you guys, it will show up if it's meant to be for you. I kid you not. I'm scrolling through Instagram and this random ass reel pops up of a little boy bouncing a yellow bouncy ball. I go to Evan. I'm like, oh my goodness. Is this the sign? Is this the answer? He's like, that's a yellow bouncy ball. So I did it. So glad that I did it. Right. So that's what I say. What pops up in your mind? Be like kind of realistic, but also like test it out. Right. I recommend also something else to keep in mind is to write it down. Before that program, I was in the middle of making a decision to work with this mentor or not. And I didn't write it down. And I did something like, show me a white owl if yes, show me a black owl if no. And so I didn't write it down. And then we went to a store that we weren't planning on going to, and Evan decided to stop by. And as we're backing out of the store, I look at the top of the building and I saw like a blackish gray owl, and my jaw dropped. I was like, oh my God, it's a sign. I should do this. It's a sign. I saw the owl. I asked for the owl. And then when we got back home, I was just sitting with it for a second. And I remembered, I was like, wait, I asked for a yes or no sign, not just one, just show me a sign of an owl. And I was like, shoot, did I ask? I like sat in meditation, and I remembered, I said, shoot, I said a white owl if yes, and then a black for no. And I'm so glad I did that, because that was a sign for no. So I recommend writing it down, because I was like, you know what, Tatiana, moving forward, you can't remember. Write it down. That way you really know it's real. Okay? So letting go of attachment, I could do something random. So when I was in that training, I asked for a purple flower to join this mastermind, and I forget, a pink flamingo, if not. Both random things. Both didn't see them at all. As I walk out of the room in my next break, I saw a purple orchid flower right there in my face. And I went up to my mentor the next day when we learned about symbols and signs, and he's like, no, yeah, that's a sign. You asked for it. And he's like, I love how specific you get. Like, that's amazing. That's what works for me. Maybe for you, you do want to be a little broad. But those are my main tips, are to write it down so you remember. I do recommend getting specific if you can, or at least something that's like meaningful enough for you that you're going to know it's a sign. And to trust and let go of attachment. Don't go seeking for it. And to know that no sign can be a sign in itself, and you have to trust that. And just be careful what you ask for, because if you get a sign, then you should take action on it. Because if not, you're just teaching that you're not serious, and it's not true. So these are tools. They're here to support us on our right path, on becoming our true selves, on our reaching our highest potential. They're a guide. They help us connect to ourselves, our intuition, to God, the universe. I absolutely love working with my clients and helping them uncover the signs and symbols in their life, helping them interpret dreams, helping them pick up on the synchronicities so they're not missing these opportunities. Like my client said, who now has this amazing business coming into fruition because she followed through on the synchronicity. And so they're here to support us. And I really hope this is help guiding you now to apply into your own life. And if you're wanting to learn more on this, more on these tools and techniques, want to learn more of the universal laws, these principles, more on connecting with your intuition, to trust it, to build the confidence so that you can be your best self and or make changes in your life. This is what I love to go deeper inside of all of my coaching programs. Because the deeper you go with yourself, the better you understand these tools and these principles that are here to help us. They're here. Now it's like, okay, are we going to learn about them, and are we going to use them to our advantage? I cover so much more inside of Embrace Your Radiance. That's going to be opening back up in January. And this is my 4-month group mentorship program that helps you connect to yourself, your purpose, to rewrite your story so you can step into your true power and manifest the life of your dreams. And so I'll teach you everything you need to know inside of this program. Universal laws, manifestation, how to just go deeper within yourself. So if you're actually interested in that, I will put the application in the show notes. We're going to start receiving applications for the January round. If you're interested, let's see if this is a good fit for you. And if it's not, how can I refer you and guide you to the right area? If you're a beginner and you're like, okay, I'm not there yet, but I want to slowly start building, just a deeper connection with myself and maybe practices and tools to help me with habits and my routines, the Ignite Your Radiant Life ebook is here for you. It's to help support you and give you a step-by-step guide in making positive changes in your life and connecting deeper with yourself little by little. And so it's on sale right now till the end of the year for $22. And then starting January 1st, it's going back up to $44. Still super affordable. And it's really here to help support you if you're in those beginner stages and not ready to invest in coaching. And then obviously, if you want to go way deeper with yourself and have hands-on support, that is what one-on-one coaching is for. I currently have one spot open left. One spot at the time of this recording, one spot left for one-on-one coaching to begin in January, but we can, get all the nitty-gritty to see if it's a good fit for you now. And I probably won't be opening up spots, maybe one in February, we will see. So now is the time. If you're wanting to go deeper with yourself, let's do it. I'm here to support you and guide you and teach you everything I know. And with Embrace Your Radiance, you get lifetime access to the program. So as I continue to learn and grow, I continue to update and share more and more. And then as a one-on-one coach client, you receive access to that automatically. So I hope you're now excited moving forward to build a relationship with signs, symbols, and synchronicities, to use them to your advantage. Maybe this podcast in itself is your sign to join Embrace Your Radiance or coaching. Trust it, follow it. You are the best investment you can ever make for yourself. And if you're really wanting to go deeper into these tools and make 2023 your best year yet, you can do it. Now it's really having faith and belief in yourself and see what pops in your life. Have fun playing around with this. It is here to support you, and I'm here to show you the way. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you gained so much value, so much tips and ideas to use these moving forward. If you are interested in coaching, ebook, Embrace Your Radiance, I'll put all the links in the show notes below. If you want to share this, always take a screenshot, tag me on Instagram. Maybe you send it to someone else who may want to hear and learn more about these ways to support. And let me know if you have any questions. Send me a DM. My DMs are always open. If you need some ideas, direction, interpretation, I would love to support you in this way. Well, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you so much. And I will see you next week, next Tuesday, for the next episode. I hope you have the most radiant day.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to share it with me and write an Apple iTunes review so I can keep the good stuff coming your way. If you aren't already following me, you can find me on Instagram at Tatiana_Kuto. Make sure to tag me in any posts that you share. I love and appreciate you so much and cannot wait to connect with you in the next episode. In the meantime, go out and radiate your light into the world.